Chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, Josh McKoon, and former New York State Senator, Democrat David Carlucci. Great to have you.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Josh, starting with you, to follow up on Libby's report there, the MAGA base here divided on the push to expand work visas in the tech industry. Can you break this down for us further? Why is your party divided on this one?
Well, I think President Trump's been very clear with his stance on immigration policy. I think the discussion that's being had is a healthy one. Obviously, we want American workers to fill American jobs. The H1-B visa program has been around for a long time. I think it's going to get reformed under President Trump. And I've got full faith and confidence that President Trump's going to bring this coalition together in a way that's consistent with the position he's had on immigration since he came down the escalator in 2015.
All right, well, let's move on to this. Vivek Ramaswamy really ruffling feathers on X, too. We can pull that up. He's criticizing American culture for, quote, venerating mediocrity over excellence, saying things along the lines of, we need more math for our young people and less just hanging out at the mall. I just spoke with Tennessee Republican Congressman Tim Burchett on what he thinks that Vivek really meant with the statement. Take a listen to this.
You know, Vivek, what the point I think he's making is that we are that we ought to embrace this. We are a nation of immigrants, and these people can enrich our country if they want to become American citizens. And I think that's the key to it all.
So, David, I'll get to you in just a second. But, Josh, will explanations like that be able to get the party back together on this issue?
I mean, I think the debate here is whether you're filling positions that Americans are not available to fill, or if we're talking about bringing in people that will do these jobs for significantly lower wages. That's really what you've been hearing the discussion about. And I think President Trump's been very clear. He wants Americans to fill American jobs. He wants people to have living wages so they have a decent economic future. I think that was a huge issue in the campaign, and I certainly expect that's how President Trump's going to govern on this issue.
Yeah, and how do we get the talent? We have to have space in our universities as well for American talent. There have been some critics out there that say too many positions, too many slots at these top universities in tech and engineering are coming from around the world when we should be focusing here at home. All right, David, on to this. Does the divide amongst MAGA surprise you on this legal immigration issue?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, because once you get off the campaign trail, it's a little different when you actually try to solve some of these problems. And Donald Trump's campaign, if it didn't fit on a bumper sticker, he didn't talk about it. And that's easy when you want to point out the problems and you want to blame everyone else around you. But when you actually have to take some responsibility and actually solve some of these problems, yeah, it falls off of a bumper sticker. And here you have Elon Musk, who benefited from the H1-B visa program, was a recipient of it, so he knows full well the value of it. Then you have someone else that never experienced it, and they say, well, we don't need it. We can have all the help, all the work here in the United States, and we'll develop our own. We'll build it. We'll recreate the wheel in our country. And this is just a perfect example of thousands of issues where many people say, oh, we can just cut $2 trillion from the budget. Well, where do you want to cut? Oh, we're going to cut that program because I don't know anything about it. It must be bad. That is a problem. And I think that shows some of the problems this DOGE program is going to have. Is it a worthy effort to try to find waste and get rid of it in government? Absolutely. But you've got to do it with a scalpel and not an axe. And this is a perfect example of it.
Yeah, and some would say you'd have to have an outsider for a fresh perspective sometimes, but it's also important to know the inner workings and know what you're cutting. To your point, use a scalpel and not an axe.
Right, like me going to Tesla and saying, well, we're going to cut the budget in half. We can do it. You have so much money. You're spending so much. Cut it in half. I've never been there to a Tesla factory, but I know full well how to do it. Just cut the numbers. I think that's an example and a metaphor of why this could be problematic.
Well, and this is why you have some Democrats and even some conservatives who are critical of Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk saying, who elected them? I didn't vote for either one of them. All right, let's move on to this. President-elect Trump is announcing that Kevin Marino Cabrera is his pick for the American ambassador to Panama. And this does come days after Trump suggested, again, the U.S. should take control of the Panama Canal. Listen.
You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.